forces. Q. This is indeed a Q.
All right, welcome back to the Patriot Hour for Sunday, June 9th, 2019. I am Michael, your host. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by, folks. We know you're busy. Your time is valuable. You're just Monday through Friday, hustle and bustle, depending on what you do. But here we always try to bring you breaking news of sorts or what has to pertain with what's going on, all right? And that's sometimes mostly up to me, right? Through this journey, never take what we say to be truth or 100% word. Use your discernment and look at all the facts. Listen to everybody you can. Watch everything you can. Read everything you can, but believe none of it until you can verify it in your own way, in your own right. And typically, each of you would know how to do that. All right, how it resonates with your mind, your body, your soul. Use your gut instincts, but look at a lot of fact. And just have to do the research sometimes, all right? There's the old days of getting spoon-fed have got to be over, but we're going to go over a few different things here today. Very interesting, folks. And one of them I just kind of came about yesterday, late in the evening. Other than that, I've been doing some things around the house, still doing research heavily, but did enjoy the weekend out, getting some things done, much needed things, late spring around where I'm at. We had lots of rain the last few months, so it's just kind of been a late spring, all right, on getting some things done around the house, which needs to happen. But hope you all had a great weekend as well, and back to the hustle and bustle tomorrow morning again, folks. Lots to go over, so let's jump into it here. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you're subscribed, all right? If you're coming back, one of the returning people, welcome. Okay, so I got to pull up, and I guess maybe even the, all right, we'll start here. Photos, image. How do I do this? Should have got this set up before, but I can do it. Here we go. Can I get that whole folder? Hold on, folks. Let me try this a different way. Photos, browse. Desktop. It's not working. Let me try that. Okay, it did. Okay, it worked. All right, so here we go. This is very interesting. I'm going to be leaving the link down below to the original if I can find them. If not, I'll get you to the video. But take a look in the description box, folks, because I'm not going to go over this because I don't know enough. I just wanted to bring this to your attention before we got into a couple of stories, but this is very interesting. So the George magazine, all right, we all know JFK Jr. This was his magazine, all right? I got a video, several videos on the JFK Trump connection. Again, a video that you could possibly go back and watch that as well, but this is his magazine, all right? The story is he named it George because that was who his father's killer was, all right, GWB. And now the reason he went with this was when he got all the evidence, he was going to post the whole story link in his own magazine. That way he didn't have to go to one of the cabal ran news agencies. I mean, that wouldn't have happened. So he ran his own publishing company, all right? But what's starting to come out is this was all part of the plan. I mean, look at the titles here. So on this particular one, this is February 99. Bill Gates talks to John Kennedy about Murdoch money and the world domination. So this is an interesting article in this magazine. But this here, Indictment Day, will Hillary get busted? All right, look at that. Indictment Day, will Hillary get busted? So now a little bit in here. This is the closing. So he had a letter from the editor, which was JFK, or John. So in all these episodes, he'd have a letter from the editor and right here. So we hope you enjoy George's take on. There we go. So we hope you enjoy George's take on the future. Why not put it in a safe place somewhere and take it out in 20 years? To paraphrase a great Englishman, it may not get you what you want, but you just might find it'll get you what you need. John Kennedy. Now, at the end of every Trump rally still going on, we hear that song, right? Rolling Stones. Can't always get what you want, but you get what you need. Why not put this in a safe place somewhere? Take it out. So, yeah, I mean, heck, you go 20 years from when this was written, folks. We're in today. All right, coincidence? I don't know. Interesting. So this is this one particular January, February of 99. I think it was February 99. Just about 20 years ago. A little over 20 years ago now. And what's going on? Crazy stuff. So I'm going to call out for something different here at the Patriot Hour. If anyone out there, any of the people that listen, watch into this show, I want these magazines, folks. I don't know if they're precious timepieces to you, and I would get that. So if there's any way you can upload, if you got scanners, I got an email. It's all down below. Or we got the P.O Box. For those of you that would like to, I could maybe even possibly get them back. I have no issue with that. You just have to let me know. And I don't know how quick as far as, because I'd like to go over these. I'd like to go over all of them, a lot of them, and get into the editor's notes of Kennedy. I mean, each one, and we'll see if he was giving us a lot. I mean, we're told with the Q, we already got it all. We've had it all. Well, it could be some things tucked into his little magazines. I don't know. So it's just something interesting. I don't know a lot yet. I've known about the magazine. I've done videos, but I didn't know about some of these stories, and that there is pretty. So the original video that I'll link down below, make sure we check that out. He goes over a few of the other things in here, and he's also got the George Trump. So I'm going to be doing everything I can to get these magazines, but I'm also calling on you guys to send them in to the P.O Box. If you don't mind, if you got, if they're timepieces to you, I understand. Maybe you could do some scanning, uploading. I don't know who's got computers and scanners. Get with somebody. Yeah, the worst case scenario, phones, take pictures, because they're really hard to find online. I actually wanted to do, they're just not archived. They're not uploaded. People haven't done this. So there's not a lot of it out there. It's almost like it's been scrubbed from the internet. All right, let's get into this article here. So again, interesting. We'll keep that in mind, and we're going to keep digging into that. All right. Trump in handcuffs, DC dirty laundry. Violence is the only tool for the socialist, communist, Marxist, trying to hide it. Today in America, they are known as a Democratic Party. They clamor utopia. They lie. They win. They take power, and then they have no choice but to become violent. Why? Why must a socialist, communist become violent? Let me get this a little bigger for you and me. So why must socialist, communist, Marxist, communists become violent? Easy. They must come to your home. They must steal your home. They must steal your food. They must steal your family. Why? Economic equality. Socialism and communism promise economic equality. Economic equality means stealing from you and from me to give to him. It also means there has to be an elite group, because only the elite group can determine when the masses, you and me, are all economically equal. Of course, there's no other way. How do you offer economic equality, a utopia, without taking it from those who have to give to those who do not? There's no other way. A violence to usher in economic equality. The Democrats, socialist, communist, always demagogue, commencing demagogues, they become tyrants. I love Trump, and I hope I'm wrong about this picture after the 2020 election. So let's see here. Yes. I know Trump is going to win, but I also know how crooked the left, the Democrats, socialists, and communists are. I know they will not roll over and let Trump back in. Trump will win by a landslide, and then the Democratic Socialist Communist machine will engage. They will huff, they will puff, and they will blow the GOP weaklings down. By hook or crook, the Democrat Socialist Communist machine will ramp up voter fraud. The dead will vote, murderers will vote, non-citizens will vote, will mysteriously appear from, who knows where, from the machinations of the Democratic, Socialist, and Communist. Am I saying that right? Don't forget the theme of this short work: violence. Power consumes, power corrupts. Too much power turns a human into a wrath, a ghoul, a soulless monster. Just think of Hillary Clinton. J.R.R. Tolkien understood this in his Lord of the Rings. The Ras sold their souls for more power, and then they become Ras. Hillary fits this picture along with Pelosi, Schumer, and all the other Democrats who in reality hate America. The Democrats will ramp up from this insane molar lies of Russia to just plain old voter fraud. They already have. We're going to find this out for California, folks. They follow Marx and Alinsky, and they'll do anything to usher in their always failed promises to provide for one and all in their utopia. The people against Trump are against the American middle class. They're Democrat, socialist, communists. Their history is a history of one word: violence. I pray my judgment with the intelligence I have gathered, given the Mueller, Pelosi, Schumer, McConnell debacle, leading me to think this picture of Trump in handcuffs will happen after the 2020 election is wrong. The people pushing these men to oppose Trump, the deep staters, are all socialist, communist, workers of the world, globalist, promising equality and utopia. Their history is written in a destroyed families, prisons, murder, starvation, humiliation, privation, but they keep the same false demagoguery. We will usher in financial equality. We will all be the same. You'll live in this utopia. Violence is the only way socialism, communism can get control. And then they have to ratchet up the violence to stay in control. So the utopian promises of workers of the world unite. You have nothing to lose but your chain sours. Alinsky led Hillary to the insanity she lives in today. And she seeks to take from all of us and give to her minions so she gets more power. When the proletariat learn that the state has come to steal their home, to steal their food, to steal their children, as they usher in their dream of financial equality, the last thing the proletariat learns in socialism and communism can only work through violence. When the state comes to make everyone financially equal, they have to send in secret police to take from the middle class and give to the poor. When the state comes to take from the middle class, especially the American middle class, they are met with resistance, and the state has no choice but to become violent. The state must attack those of us who want to keep our homes, our cars, our food, our very own children from being taken to the Gulag. Trumpsters of America, unite. You have nothing to lose but the violence of the Democratic Party. So this comes from DC Dirty Laundry. All right. Just thought it was an interesting piece. Definitely wasn't going for any clickbait there. That's why I didn't, only label the video that. All right. So, and another thing here, Google must face conservative employee discrimination lawsuit. Judge rules on June 9th. This came from today. Well, here's a day few of us expected to see. Google is actually facing lawsuit, folks, for discriminatory hiring practices so far, all right? Just against the conservatives primarily, but also whites, Asians, and men in general. Is this the Twilight Zone? It feels like we're in the Twilight Zone. Hey, I just did a video the other day. I didn't have any influence over the Twilight Zone. It came into my own mind because that's what I felt like's going on. Not with this in particular, but just everything else. So granted, in its early days in the proceedings, but the fact that the lawsuits have made it far of its kind is a miracle in 2019 in California. It'll be interesting to watch progressive media address the case as it unfolds, if indeed they address it at all. It is a fact that the state is willing to investigate allegations of discrimination against whites and men, and conservatives prove that the system is rigged against minorities. If indeed is a fact that this, okay. So maybe I'm being ingenuous here in my speculation of how the news will be received by the types of people accused of the hiring discrimination. But with the rhetoric that's out there, in which being pro-woman, pro-LGBTQ, pro-minority is frequently and tragically equated with being anti-human, anti-straight, cisgender, anti-white, it's hard to give a lot of credit. Hopefully this will push a reset button for America and remind us of what equality actually means. and it's not flipping the tables on who gets to be privileged class. It means that to abolish all that, all right, of a privileged class. That's what I've been trying to talk about, folks. And when you watch like CNN, they'll have these people on, I mean, sometimes black people, and they will sit there and tell you about all the wrong things and that they need this. And it's almost like they want it to be flipped. And people remind them like, well, if you do that, and then there are people for that. They want to reverse it and then go 50, 60, 100 years. And then, I mean, what would that, and people will have to be reminded, well, what does that do? Don't we want to, when we let the women vote, we didn't take the men's right away to vote, that way, for a certain amount of time. We just added it and fixed things that are wrong. That's what we do. You don't put gas on a fire, you put water on it and you move forward. I mean, this is the craziness, all right, that we're dealing with. All right, so that article wasn't too long, but so it's hard to get a lot of credit. Hopefully this case will push the reset button, right? And not flipping the tables on who gets to be the privileged class. If this is the first step in the righting the correction we've seen in recent years, it's a pretty major one. I, for one, will be following it closely, and I agree with that. I just wanted to finish that up. All right, we're nearing the time frame of what I like for a video, so it's not too long. Folks, again, remember the John F. Kennedy magazines if you have them laying around, if there's something, because we're going to go over them, and then we'll go over them, and then, we'll see what we can find together. I'm interested with that, and again, if you want them back, just leave that as a message when we're done going over it here in the episode. And again, I will, name you guys off as like this person sending this one. We're going to be going over these few articles. I can get some photocopies or take pictures, and then I can get them back to you. Or if you just want to donate them to the channel, they'll be in really good, and we'll go over them time and time again if we ever needed to. But that's something to keep in mind. Keep your eyes out if you're garage sailing. If you got family, if you had somebody that loves magazines, and maybe they got all of them, that would be crazy. But and if it's a matter of something, I could even maybe pay if that's something you guys wanted, a little bit of. I'm seeing certain ones are maybe worth $20-$30 people are trying to get for, like the episode number 1. And I'm not saying we're just trying to go over them. So, but if it's a matter of you having to sell them because of whatever reasons, or if you buy them at a garage sale, I'm willing to reimburse. Okay. So again, keep that in mind. I'm Michael. This is a Patriot Hour. God bless each and every one of you, and look for another video maybe here in a little bit. I just, like to keep them under 20 minutes for you guys. So tidbits of information to not overload you. Again, God bless, Godspeed each and every one of you. And we'll see you back here on the next Patriot Hour update video. Make sure you're subscribed, share across all social media platforms. We are heavily shadow banned. And last week, YouTube turned it up again. That's other news. I'm sure you guys have heard about it. Steven Crowder, Louder with Crowder, demonetized, and he didn't even break any rules. So all of this is being closely monitored as well. We've heard Trump tweet about it, and we'll get into that. All right, folks, again, have a great evening, and we'll see you back here real soon.
What letter is this?
Q.